it's not every day we see, I know you're the captain of the team, it's not every day we see active players involved in those projects that much. Magava, you didn't start playing basketball for NAM Blazers, but you seem so committed and so passionate about this basketball club. Why? And where does this love come from?
Well, I've grown up in Namwongo for, I think, the last 29 years.
Ah, okay.
And when I...
What you calculating the years now?
Fair enough. So when I actually joined my basketball career, starting off in Bushcourt and then in Power, and then later on Namwongo joining the league, even when they joined, my first promise to them was, if at all you make the top flight, I will definitely join you. And I was always with them during games, during their practice sessions, pickup sessions. So the love for Namwongo doesn't stem from just the past few years, but way back from actually the earlier days of my basketball career. But again, I think it has given us players of Namwongo Blazers a different perspective towards how the game is played, how you associate with your fans. You know, I think most basketballers have a fan base that they don't even get close to.
Yeah.
But we have built this intimacy with our fans, and also coming from a marginalized community, being able to be close to the players is really, really important for us and the fans. And also some of the projects like the one we did in Nachi Valley, where I went with the Norwegian Refugee Council team and went to meet the refugees, that was really eye-opening. You know, it shows you the power that the game has and how much you actually
these are some of the pictures from there, right?
Yeah. So we just went and met a couple of young players and just opened up to them in terms of, tell us how it is here, you understand? And the fact that you can communicate hope through sports is very, very important. You will give them the money, you will give them the resources, you will give them security. But if at all they are not seeing a glimpse of hope, then we are actually wasting time.
Yeah.
So the sport can actually reach many places and have a lot of impact. So for us as Blazers, one of our key strategies is championships, yes, but then how much have you done as a team, or how much have you done as a player to actually impact those that don't have the opportunity you have? That's what is key for us.
My next question was for Daniel, but I think I'll take it through Tuka. I mean, do we understand the power of sport in this country?
Daniel wants to say something maybe before I come
Okay.
back.
More context into the arrangement of
Right.
the NRSC.
We are going to come back to that. Don't worry.
Okay, fine.
We'll come back to that.
No problem.
But do we understand the impact of sport? I mean, you guys, for us, we're journalists, so we get comments on air, we meet people who love sport, but you guys are in there, especially you, the CEO, because sometimes his adrenaline is busy on the court. But I've watched NAM Blazers games, even on TV. I was seeing the launch at the beginning of the season. And you genuinely see people, the excitement on their face.
Yeah.
And this is in huge numbers. Do we understand the responsibility these guys then have?
Of course, I think from what they are trying to do, I guess they understand the responsibility they have. And when you say responsibility is a big word. It's just not only going to the community, talk to them, attract them to play the game, but also like Magava has said, you go to a refugee camp and give these guys hope. Listen, without hope, we're nothing in this world. All of us, the poor and the rich, without hope, there's nothing. The reason why, you know, most of the times people criticize churches, for example, but one of the biggest contributor of churches in the world is giving people hope. Because without that hope, clearly you have left your home, you have nothing to eat, but you've gone into church and the pastor is telling you God will provide, you will be fine. That statement on its own changes your entire perspective. And without that, probably people will be killing each other, people will be committing suicide. So it's quite important that they do that. But also the responsibility shouldn't be about only even the hope, but also the discipline and everything. You might have, for example, the last game, I think Friday, the first game of the first round. The NAM Blazers fans have their corner. It's quite, I don't know who gave it to them, but every time there's a game, whether their team is seated that way, that's their corner. And of course, with the supporting comes with a few pints.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So actually the last game, someone I think threw must have been a can or something, alcohol. Of course, threw it on the bench of the Oilers. You can imagine predominantly some of them are Muslims, they don't associate with it. The good thing is I thought the fans were going to stop the security from getting the guy out. And one of the things I have respect for about this game here, and I hope it keeps going, you do something silly, you'll be on your own. They walked to the place where the fans were, and they told the guys, this is the guy who was thrown in, and he was thrown out. So that too has got to be told to the fans, because however fantastic the fans are, you don't behave, you're taking away what the people appreciate about you. And I hope that is also instilled in the fans. But the bit about hope is something huge. And it has given, the reason why some people watch sport is because you're not going to find a lot of chaos. When you read the headlines in the papers, a lot of politics, you check what's there. Sport is going to be quite different. Yes, there'll be battles, there'll be competition, but people will live saying, we enjoy this. And that's big.
That is huge. Listen, maybe you wanted to add on to what MacGyver was saying. Maybe we should pick off that.
We just put that into context, because I think this affects, it's much more bigger than Namungo Blazers. So if you look at our league, just a bit of context, some of the best players we have in our league are coming either from Sudan or from Congo. Look at Amisi playing for KIU, Cheng playing for Namungo Blazers, Rai, the likes, you see. Now, if we understand the context, Uganda is a host to about 1.5 million refugees. We're the biggest refugee host in Africa, right? And predominantly these guys are coming from, guess what? Sudan and DR Congo. Now, these settlements like the one he went to in Achi Valley have basketball courts. So the question is, how can we be able to take advantage of that, right? As Blazers, with NRC, we can bring in the media, partner, let's say, with schools like Budo SS, schools like Chitende. We have universities like UCU, KIU that can offer sponsorships. Can we pick some of these guys, bring them through the ranks, and if they're very good, even nationalize them and they represent the country?
For you then, at a personal level, forget the basketball player, this must mean a lot. This must be a personal and emotional thing for you to go and see these people, not just connected to sport, but maybe following sport. But for non-Blazers to go there, it must be more than basketball to you.
Yeah, it actually humbles you. We had a lot of, and we were anxious going into the camp. Several briefings, several security briefs, policies, understanding the do's and don'ts. But getting there, it makes you understand that these are also humans, And having that personal touch with them was really humbling. Telling you, do you even know, you have no right to actually be where you are as Paulo Dong MacGyver or as Soro or as Chris. You have no right, but look at where you are. So what are you doing with that? And by the time we are done with our schedule, we literally didn't want to leave. Like, the kids are looking at the van leaving and, very passionate stories. They're saying, I hope you guys come back. So we had like a problem tree type of arrangement where we look at what problems they're actually having. And then we later on discuss them with, of course, our management in Namungo Blazers, the Norwegian Refugee Council. For those that we can solve, of course, we can, just like being present for them, offering them spots on the team. But for those problems that are bigger than what the team can actually hold, like Dan said, those then are cascaded upwards to maybe the Norwegian Refugee Council, the government, etc. But over and above, it just shows you that you have actually no right to be enjoying what you're enjoying. So if at all you're enjoying it as a basketballer, make the best use out of it. Don't abuse it, like Tuka says. And just be the light that actually you are for all the rest to actually see.
I want us to go for a quick commercial break. Tuka, when we